All right, everybody, now that I've cleared that up, I want to move on to my favorite part of the show, gun talk. And today I want to talk about Smith & Wesson. Not the guns themselves, but the manufacturer. If you're not aware, after 169 years in Massachusetts, Smith & Wesson is moving to Tennessee. Which I'm sure a lot of people are like, wow, that's great. You know, and I'm okay with it myself, although I am a little sad that all the new guns now are going to smell like Copenhagen and Mountain Dew. But I guess it could be worse. They could have moved to Arkansas and they could all smell like, you know, malt liquor and incest. But they're moving their manufacturing, or at least part of their manufacturing. They do have plants in other places, and they are going to keep some production in Massachusetts, but they're moving their headquarters and some production to Tennessee. And I'm like, okay with it, but I've got mixed feelings. And here's why I have mixed feelings about it. Because I understand when a gun company wants to move to a state that's more friendly to them. And I think it always looks bad when a gun company stays in a state that gives them exemptions but doesn't treat every other gun owner well, like Massachusetts. So I can understand them wanting to move to a more gun-friendly state like Tennessee. Definitely more gun-friendly than Massachusetts. But then again, I always feel like, well, you know, when you've got that much history in a place and you got that much clout in a place, you should stay there and use it to fight the gun laws. It's kind of the same way I feel about people who like live in a state like California. I mean, if you just don't have any tie to California whatsoever, move. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to call you, you wimp, you should have stayed and fight. But if you've got ties to California, it's where you're born, it's where you want to stay, then fight for your rights. And that's kind of like what I feel a lot of manufacturers should do. If they're in a state, they've got a lot of power, a lot of clout, they know a lot of the politicians, they should use that clout to help everyone in the state. But it's not always possible. So when it's not possible, I understand wanting to move your headquarters to someplace a little friendlier. Now, I also do have a little bit of another not worry, but a little bit of a thing in the back of my head saying, well, that's probably not the only reason you're moving that is more gun-friendly, is because Tennessee is a right-to-work state. And if you're not familiar, I always get right-to-work and at-will backwards, but in case I say this backwards, just think the opposite of what I'm saying. But in a right-to-work state, you can't be made to join a union. Unions have less power in right-to-work states. In at-will states, unions have a lot more power to make agreements with employers, etc. And also, since it is an at-will state, most employees want to be part of a union, so they have protections of their salaries, their positions, their blah, blah, blah. Because in a right-to-work state, not only can you not be made to join a union, but you don't have as many perks, let's just say that. If you look at the states that are right-to-work states, it's pretty much all the lowest standard of living states, with the exception of like West Virginia and Ohio. West Virginia, really, because West Virginia is really bad standard of living. But they're a state where unions are very strong because of the coal mines, the original rednecks. Those are the people who fought for the unions. And because of that, they actually made decent money and not just go down in a hole and die for next to nothing. So I would never do that job. So I think they deserve everything they asked for. I've been in one coal mine in my life. I lasted like 15 seconds, freaked the fuck out, and had to get out of there. That elevator ride back up was painful emotionally. So give them what they want. But like I said, I'm getting off topic here really bad. But Tennessee, like I said, is a right-to-work state, so that would protect their manufacturing from unionization, although they're only going to have like 750 employees in Tennessee, so I'm probably being a little cynical there. It's not going to be a ton of people, but it is like a $125 million, I think they said, investment in the state. The state's going to get to $125 million just from them coming there, and 750 jobs. 750 jobs in a county is nothing to sneeze at. That could probably be the largest employer in the county. So I guess congratulations to that county in Tennessee, which I don't remember the name of. I'm sure it's something bumfucker, town, or, lazy bastardville or something, because I've been to a lot of places in Tennessee. Smells like cheese for no reason, Tennessee. Those are all good names for counties in Tennessee. But just want to let everyone know, in case you weren't aware, Smith & Wesson, after, like I said, 169 years of being headquartered in Massachusetts, they're moving out. Now, you might have mixed feelings about that. You might think they should have stayed there and tried to change the laws in their state. You might think, good, it's finally a good thing that they're moving out of that state and getting into a more gun-friendly state. But I just wanted to let you know what's happening. I think they're going to keep making the revolvers in Massachusetts, but they're going to move like semi-auto production and stuff down there as well. And they have another plant or two, but I think they're closing one. I own stock in a company. You think I'd pay better attention? I think I've got 50 shares. No, 200 shares. But the shares are low price, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't mean much. It's like you could either own 50 shares of Smith & Wesson or a tenth of a Bitcoin. It's kind of the equivalent thing. So I just want to let everyone know that Smith & Wesson, after 169 years, is moving. There might be a lot of different reasons behind it, but the act in itself is kind of a big deal.